Hello, everyone. I'm David Löh, Editor-in-Chief of Inspect, and I'm talking today with Jeremy Bergh. He's President North American Operations at IDS Imaging Development Systems, a German camera manufacturer. We are talking about the US subsidiary, about the embedded vision market, and of course about new products. So, hello, Jeremy, and welcome.
Hello, David. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, how long has the subsidiary in the USA been in existence now?
We have been around since 2007. So last year we celebrated our 15th anniversary, actually.
Oh, cool. And where are you exactly located?
We are about 30 minutes north of Boston in Stoneham, Massachusetts.
Ah, okay. And what services do you offer? What's in the center of your activities?
Sure. I would say overall we're a subsidiary sales office basically, but we have applications engineering here as well. So we do hold stock. And we handle all the sales for US and Canada.
See. From which industries do your customers come from?
It's pretty broad, actually. We have a lot of our applications in medical, automotive, robotics, quality inspection, sports analytics. What am I missing? Agriculture. So fairly broad, thankfully.
Oh yeah, it seems like yes. Can you explain something about new products IDS have? What special things maybe?
Sure. Thankfully, our R&D team and development team are always keeping busy. Last year we were focused mostly on some redesigns of some of our cameras where the supply chain situation where we had some components that weren't readily available anymore. So there was all hands on deck there, but now they can focus. We're in a better situation there, and they can focus back on new products and keeping us at the cutting edge. So we have our Warp 10 cameras, which is our 10 gig cameras, which is our first foray into 10 gig, and some really interesting sensor options there. We have our XLE, XLS, and XTP, which is our smaller, more lightweight, low-cost version of some standard machine vision cameras, also with some interesting sensors there. We have something new on the Insenso 3D front coming out. That's not officially released yet, so I'll hold off on that. We have, let's see, also on the NXT side, which is more of our vision app-based cameras. So some processing at the edge, neural networks, AI, constantly updating the software and the capabilities there as well. So just had a new release on that side.
Oh wow, that's really a big bunch of new products.
Yes, yes.
So you mentioned the NXT and the AI camera. Let's say, can you explain which applications you're aiming?
Yeah, it's AI is such a buzzword, and there's so many people doing so many things, and obviously with ChatGPT coming out and all the talk about that, everyone's wondering how they can make their businesses or their applications more efficient, more effective using AI, right? And so this camera is one option for customers who are looking to automate processes that maybe it was a person in that situation who really, it's a boring, dull, maybe dangerous position that people don't want to be in. Now a camera that has some options to build in either anomaly detection, classification, object detection. You can basically create your own app that so the camera can make a decision based on some information it's seen. Something that a person might be able to figure out, like is that a part on a board that's not supposed to be there, or is that apple a good apple or a bad apple? Many different things. So, but we have seen some success so far in agricultural applications, in inspection applications for you know, like for example, PCB boards and inspections like that. We have seen some in the automotive industry as well. But we're all, you know, and there's customers out there doing some tests and looking at some other options. So it's still really open. I mean, I'm interested to see how that progresses over the next year and the cool applications and problems that customers bring to us that we can help solve. So
I see. What new do you have on the field of embedded vision?
Yeah, good question. Embedded vision. So, and that's the bit of a gray area, I think, because you know, some people think of embedded vision as just a small camera in a device somewhere that, and you know, and we do have small cameras that are developed into many different, you know, handheld devices, inspection systems, medical devices, things like that. And then, you know, some think that it has to have more processing on board. So there's a bit of a gray area on what people mean, I think, by embedded vision, from what I've heard. But we do have more and more of a push to go smaller and produce more processing power on board. So that's definitely something that we are working on. And the NXT has the embedded processing capabilities right on the edge there. You know, whereas some of our standard cameras maybe have some of the lower level processing of Bayer, you know, Bayer pattern processing, you know, auto gain and auto exposure and those kind of things. But so it depends on what the customer's looking for, host PC or more processing on board. And there's a wide variety of what their needs are there.
I see. So I understand that for you as a company, it's important to have both. So the processing PC and the embedded vision device, let's say. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So what role does embedded vision play for IDS right now? And yeah.
Yeah. Good question. And do you mind? What would your definition of or embedded vision, or what's your idea of embedded vision?
I would say just you process the imaging data where more or less where the action is, right? If it's at the end of a robot arm, or is it at the production line, or yeah, you name it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So then, yeah, I guess in that definition, we are probably more on the NXT side of things. We do have our Insenso XR has onboard processing as well, which can basically calculate and send over a point cloud right to, you know, over Wi-Fi from the camera. So you can do some processing on the 3D side for our Insenso XR. And then for the NXT, it does have, we have a new one coming out that is even more powerful in the very near future. So keep an eye out for that. But the current NXTs that are out provide quite a bit of different options there. We have a software called Lighthouse where customers can, say, train a couple of images and not train, sorry. They can label some images, good part, bad part, so on and so forth, and then load them into our software. The software can train them for the customer, and then load up to 50 different neural networks right on the camera. And then we even have, we made it easy for people to get involved and create some logic by Google Blockly. Are you familiar with Google Blockly? Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, so they can basically create their logic, like if you see a bad part, then switch to this neural network, right? Switch to neural network X, and then run, you know, another decision tree, right? And then if that decision tree kicks out X or Y, do this. So you can basically create the logic right on board the camera, and then you can kick it out with the result that you want, that you need. So if X happens, make the robot push this item off the line, for example.
I see. That sounds pretty cool. Next question, where do you see the biggest advantages of embedded vision?
biggest advantages, I would say, would be reducing the complexity of implementation for different applications where there might be restrictions on, maybe they need less cable lengths, maybe they need a lot more cameras than they have computers, so the processing power is limited. I think there's definitely some advantages there depending upon how customers are implementing them. I'm blown away at what customers are doing with vision, right? There's so many different opportunities and so many different things that they're doing and using vision to help solve a wide variety of problems. So, and sometimes embedded vision is not necessary. Sometimes you have computers that can do all the processing on board and run multiple cameras off them, and there's no problems. But it's not always the case, and that's where embedded vision comes in.
Okay, I see. And where advantages are there, most of the time disadvantages as well. So let's call them hurdles. Do you see them, and what do you think? What's the most important ones, and how can users solve them?
So yeah, good question. Hurdles for embedded vision. I mean, there's always a race for smaller and lower cost components, right? So it really is, sometimes it comes down to which components are going to be released faster, right? Which ones are going to be there to support the different cameras and USB 4, for example, which computers are going to have the actual ports and be able to handle it? Where are the controllers and the ports and the cabling going to come from? And so I think sometimes it's waiting for, it's the chicken or the egg problem, right? Making sure that there's components that can handle the technology that you put out, and if not, you're going to have to go a different route. So there's some hurdles in terms of syncing and getting all the component manufacturers and the camera manufacturers on the same page. I think sometimes there's potential hurdles in cost of components, which we saw last year, right? Cost and availability. I don't know where else we might see hurdles in terms of embedded vision. There's so many different players out there competition-wise. Maybe the software that aligns everything. There's not one software that can just match all the different components together. So sometimes there's a hurdle there. So yeah, those are the ones that come to the top of my head anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. And so, what do you think? To which industries do you supply the majority of embedded vision products at the moment?
Majority, I would say, would be manufacturing inspection, like quality inspection, and logistics. So maybe like robotics, logistics, quality inspection, and automotive. I think those are probably what I see the most. Medical's definitely in there as well.
And in the further development, do you think it will change the branches and industries?
I wouldn't be surprised, if we start to see more on the agricultural side, if we start to see what other industries. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if things start to shift as more people broaden their horizons on what is actually capable with the power of adding processing, AI, neural networks to their systems. Would not be surprised. Okay. I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, me too. Okay, thank you. That was my last question. Do you have something you want to add?
I would say just keep for those who are really trying to build interesting things, just keep learning new things from Inspect and others out there, and keep your minds open, and you're going to create some really interesting things, and just please do good with them, and and don't use them for nefarious purposes.
Thank you. Great. That was perfect ending. Thanks for that. And yeah, thanks for everyone watching, and thanks Jeremy for your time and the very interesting insights you gave us, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, David. You too.